Hey everyone, welcome back to Coffee and Learn English. I'm Mia.
And I'm Liam. We're really happy you're here with us today. If you're new here, please subscribe and like this video.
We're here to help you practice English in an easy and fun way. Today, we're learning relative clauses, especially who, which, and that, and how to use them naturally when you speak.
All right, ready? Let's go. Grab a coffee and let's chat.
Straight to the point. Relative clauses help you connect ideas without sounding robotic.
Instead of saying two short sentences, you can join them smoothly.
Example, I met a woman. She works in marketing.
You can say, I met a woman who works in marketing.
Another one, I bought a phone. It has an amazing camera.
You can say, I bought a phone that has an amazing camera, or which has an amazing camera.
Today, you'll learn three main things.
First, the simple meaning of who, which, and that.
Second, the difference between defining and non-defining relative clauses and why commas matter.
Third, the fast speaking tricks people use, like dropping who or that in some sentences.
We'll practice with real situations, introducing people, describing things you bought, explaining work tasks, and telling stories.
And we'll do quick drills so you can build speed and confidence.
One warning, this topic can feel confusing when you learn it from grammar tables.
So we will learn it like a conversation tool.
Think of the relative clause like a label. It tells you which person or which thing you mean.
It answers the question, which one?
Today, who is for people.
Which is for things.
That can often replace who or which in defining clauses.
And we'll show you exactly when that sounds natural and when it does not.
Perfect. Let's start with the simplest use, describing a person with who.
Then we'll move to things with which and that. Let's begin with who. Who refers to people.
Use it when you want to identify someone or add information about them.
Example, she is the teacher who helped me the most.
He is the friend who always tells the truth.
Now, which refers to things, animals, and sometimes whole ideas.
Example, this is the book which changed my life.
This is the book that changed my life. Both are fine in a defining clause.
That is very common in speaking.
Especially for defining clauses when the information is essential.
Here's a key idea. If the relative clause is necessary to know which person or thing you mean, it is defining.
Defining means essential information.
Example, the student who sits near the window is very quiet.
Without who sits near the window, you do not know which student.
Another example, I like the movie that you recommended.
Without that you recommended, we do not know which movie.
In defining clauses, you usually do not use commas.
No commas. The information is part of the identity.
Now, if the relative clause is extra information, not necessary to identify the noun, it is non-defining.
Non-defining clauses use commas, and they feel like a side comment.
Example, my brother, who lives in Canada, is visiting next month.
You only have one brother in the story, so who lives in Canada is extra info.
Another, my laptop, which I bought last year, is still working great.
You already know which laptop, so the clause is just extra detail.
Important rule, in non-defining clauses, you do not use that.
You say who or which, not that.
So you say, my brother who lives in Canada.
Not my brother that lives in Canada.
Great. Now we'll keep it very practical. We'll practice defining first because that is the most common in real speaking.
Then we'll do non-defining with commas and natural intonation.
Defining relative clauses are the ones you use constantly in daily conversation.
They help you clarify and specify.
Let's do people first. Imagine you are at a party.
You want to explain which person you mean.
The guy who is wearing a black jacket is my cousin.
The woman who is talking to Sarah is my manager.
The people who work here are really friendly.
The students who study every day improve faster.
Notice how who connects directly after the noun.
And the verb comes right after the relative pronoun.
Now with things.
This is the app that helps me focus.
I need the document that you sent yesterday.
I lost the keys that were on the table.
I'm looking for the charger that works with my phone.
In conversation, that is extremely common with things.
Which is also correct, but it can sound slightly more formal in defining clauses.
Now let's talk about dropping the relative pronoun.
Because this is where English becomes more natural and faster.
In defining clauses, when the relative pronoun is the object of the clause, you can often drop it.
Example, the movie that you recommended was amazing.
You can say, the movie you recommended was amazing.
The person who I met yesterday was super nice.
You can say, the person I met yesterday was super nice.
That sounds more natural in speaking.
But be careful, you cannot drop the relative pronoun when it is the subject.
Example, the person who called me is my boss.
Here, who is the subject of called, so you cannot say, the person called me is my boss, because that changes meaning.
Another subject example, the book that explains this is helpful.
You cannot drop that there because that is the subject of explains.
So the quick test is simple.
If you see another subject inside the relative clause, you can often drop who or that.
The movie that you recommended. The subject is you, so you can drop that.
The person who called me. The subject is who, so you keep it.
Great! Now let's practice this in a real friend conversation.
You'll hear defining clauses and dropped pronouns naturally.
Scene time. Two friends chatting about people and things in their lives. Listen for who, that, which, and also the dropped versions. I finally found a trainer who actually explains things clearly.
That's rare. Most trainers just say, do it again.
Exactly. This one is the guy who helped my friend last year.
Nice. I'm looking for a course that focuses on speaking.
I know one. It's a course I tried a few months ago.
You dropped that. You didn't say, a course that I tried.
Yep, it sounds more natural.
I need a laptop that can handle editing videos.
I have a laptop which works well for that, but it's a little expensive.
Okay, and that one, is it the model you bought last year?
Yes, it's the one I bought last year.
I love meeting people who are passionate about what they do.
Same. I met a woman who runs a small business, and she was so motivated.
Was she the person you told me about?
Yes, she's the person I told you about.
Great. Now, I have a question. When do you use which for a whole idea?
Good question. You can use which to comment on the previous sentence.
Example?
I missed the bus, which was annoying.
So which refers to the fact that you missed the bus.
Exactly, it's like a comment.
That sounds more common in writing, but you hear it in speaking too.
Especially when people are telling stories.
Great. Now let's move to non-defining relative clauses, because commas change everything.
And we'll make it easy with a clear feeling, not a complicated rule. Non-defining relative clauses add extra information.
They do not tell you which one. They just add a detail.
You usually pause a little in speaking and you use commas in writing.
And you cannot use that in non-defining clauses.
Example, my sister, who lives in Toronto, is visiting next month.
The clause who lives in Toronto is extra because you already know which sister in the story.
Another, this restaurant, which is very popular, gets busy on weekends.
We already know which restaurant, so the clause just adds a comment.
Here's a simple way to fill it.
If you can remove the clause and the sentence still clearly identifies the noun, it is probably non-defining.
My sister is visiting next month. That is clear.
This restaurant gets busy on weekends. Still clear.
Now compare defining. The sister who lives in Toronto is visiting next month.
That suggests you have more than one sister, and you are specifying which sister.
The restaurant that is near the station is busy.
That tells you which restaurant.
In defining, no commas and that is common.
In non-defining, commas, and you use who or which.
Another difference is tone. Non-defining feels like a side note.
Like you're giving background information.
Let's do a few pairs to build intuition.
Pair 1. My friend who works at the hospital is coming.
That means I have multiple friends and I mean that specific one.
My friend who works at the hospital is coming.
That means I have one friend in this context and I'm adding a detail.
Pair 2. I bought a phone that has a great camera.
You are defining which phone you mean.
I bought a new phone, which has a great camera.
You already know the phone and you add a comment.
Great. Now we'll keep it practical. We'll add two very useful relatives, where and whose, because people ask about them all the time.
They make your speaking smoother.
Let's expand the toolkit. Where, when, and whose.
They are not the main topic today, but they are extremely useful with relative clauses.
Where is used for places.
The cafe where we met is still open.
That means the cafe in that location.
You can also say, the cafe we met at is still open.
Or the cafe we met at is still open. That is very natural.
When is for time. I remember the day when I moved here.
In casual speaking, you often drop when. I remember the day I moved here.
Whose is for possession, for people and sometimes things.
She's the woman whose car was stolen.
He's the guy whose phone keeps ringing.
For things, you might hear whose too, but it can sound more formal.
The company whose products we use is expanding.
Now, a big speaking point, prepositions in relative clauses.
People see grammar rules like to whom, with which, and they panic.
In real conversation, we usually put the preposition at the end.
The person who I talked to was helpful.
The person I talked to was helpful.
The topic that we were discussing was interesting.
The topic we were discussing was interesting.
In formal writing, you might see the person to whom I talked.
But in daily speech, that sounds very formal and sometimes a bit unnatural.
So for speaking, keep it simple. Put the preposition at the end.
Great. Now let's do a longer story-style conversation where these forms appear naturally.
This will help you hear the rhythm.
And you'll see how often we drop the relative pronoun when it is the object.
Story conversation. Two friends talking about a situation at work.
Listen for defining clauses, non-defining clauses, and dropped relatives.
I had a meeting today with a client who asks a million questions.
Those clients can be intense. What did they ask?
They asked about a report that we sent last week.
Was it the report you created?
Yes, it was the report I created. And they said they loved the section that explained the strategy.
Nice. That's a defining clause, the section that explained the strategy.
Exactly, because there are many sections, and I mean that specific one.
Did anything go wrong?
A little. The document, which I uploaded earlier, disappeared from the shared folder.
Oh no, so which I uploaded earlier is extra info.
Yes, it was just adding detail.
Who fixed it?
A colleague who works in IT helped me.
The colleague you always mention?
Yes, the colleague I always mention.
I like coworkers who stay calm under pressure.
Same. He's the kind of person who doesn't panic.
Did you talk to the manager?
Yes, I spoke to the manager I told you about.
You dropped who? Manager who I told you about.
Right, it's cleaner.
What about the client?
The client, who was actually very polite, waited while we fixed everything.
Nice, non-defining again.
Yes, because I already identified the client.
Great, now let's switch to a common everyday setting. Buying something, returning something, and explaining what you mean.
That's where defining clauses are super useful.
Scene, shopping, and returning items.
This is the perfect place to practice which one language. I need to return a jacket that doesn't fit me.
Okay, is it the jacket you bought online?
Yes, the jacket I bought online. The size was wrong.
You should take it to the store where you picked it up.
That's true. The store where I picked it up is near my house.
What's the problem exactly?
The sleeves, which looked fine in the photo, are too short in real life.
Nice, that's extra detail. You already identified the sleeves and you're adding a comment.
And the material that they used feels rough.
Defining again, because you're describing which material issue you mean.
I talked to a customer service agent who was really helpful.
Great. Did they give you a refund?
They gave me a refund that will arrive in 3 days.
Perfect. Refund that will arrive in 3 days defines the refund type or condition.
I also bought a bag, which is honestly amazing.
You sound excited.
I am. It's the kind of bag that works for travel.
Great. Now we're going to do quick fixes and quick rules, but in a clean way.
Short, practical, and not repetitive.
We will cover the biggest mistakes.
Like using that with commas and mixing who and which.
Then we'll do drills that force you to choose fast.
Let's do the quick fix section. Quick fixes. Common mistakes with relative clauses.
We'll say the wrong version, then the natural version.
Mistake. The woman which works here is friendly.
Fix. The woman who works here is friendly.
Mistake. The phone who I bought is expensive.
Fix. The phone that I bought is expensive, or the phone I bought is expensive.
Mistake. My brother that lives in Canada is visiting.
Fix. My brother who lives in Canada is visiting.
Mistake. The movie that you recommended was great.
Fix. The movie that you recommended was great. No commas if it is defining.
Or, the movie you recommended was great.
Mistake. The person called me is my boss, when you mean the person who called me is my boss.
You cannot drop who when it is the subject.
Mistake. The cafe in which we met is nice, in casual speech.
Fix. The cafe we met at is nice. Or, the cafe where we met is nice.
Great. Now drills. 3 types.
Type 1. Choose who, which, or that.
Type 2. Decide if you can drop it.
Type 3. Defining or non-defining, and choose commas feeling.
Drill 1. A person, the man, helped me, was kind.
Who, or that in defining.
Great. The chair I bought is uncomfortable.
That, or which, or nothing, the chair I bought.
Drill 2. Can you drop it? The teacher who teaches us is strict.
No. Who is the subject?
The teacher who I met yesterday is strict.
Yes. You can say, the teacher I met yesterday is strict.
Drill 3. Non-defining. My laptop, I bought last year, is still fast.
Which, not that.
Great. Now we finish with a recap and a speaking challenge that makes you use this today.
Final recap. Relative clauses help you connect ideas smoothly.
Who is for people, which is for things. That can replace who or which in defining clauses.
Defining clauses tell you which one, no commas.
The friend who lives nearby, the book that you recommended, the app I use every day.
Non-defining clauses add extra information, use commas, and use who or which.
My friend who lives nearby is visiting. My book, which is old, is still useful.
In non-defining clauses, do not use that.
Keep it simple. Commas mean know that.
You can often drop who, which, or that in defining clauses when it is the object.
The movie you recommended, the person I met, the place we went to.
But do not drop it when it is the subject.
The person who called me, the book that explains this, the app that helps me.
You can use where for places and whose for possession.
The cafe where we met, the person whose phone keeps ringing.
Practice challenge for today.
Step 1. Write 5 sentences about people using who.
Example, I have a friend who loves traveling.
Step 2. Write 5 sentences about things using that or which and drop it in at least 3 sentences.
Example, this is the song I listen to when I study.
Step 3. Write 2 non-defining sentences with commas using who or which.
Example, my laptop, which I bought last year, is still fast.
Read your sentences out loud like you were telling a friend a story.
That's how this becomes natural, not just grammar. All right, that's it for today. Thanks so much for listening. We're really happy you were here with us.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like this video. Turn on the bell so you always get notified when we post a new one.
Comment, what's your biggest difficulty in English right now, and what do you want to learn next?
Grab a coffee and we'll talk again soon.